Should we just go into the acapella? Or
I feel like we've already...
we've already done... Basically, I had my mic set up weirdly for some reason, and I was just really quiet, so you missed a whole bit where we did an acapella version of The Boys Are Back in Town.
It was really awful, but it was brilliant at the same time, if you know what I mean. But I'm back. I'm back in town. That was the
boy.
point.
And he's dancing in the moonlight.
The singular boy is back in town.
I've returned.
He jailbroke.
I spent the last 2 days sleeping and eating pancakes and pizza.
And drinking whiskey from the jar.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I'm getting all those Sim-Lizzy references.
I did all of the things.
What were you in jail for?
Oh, for all of the murders. I was in jail for doing poor commentary on kung fu movies.
Ah.
Yeah.
Now it seems you've joined back up with your partners in crime.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily
break fucking parole.
More like husband and wife in crime.
That's true. We do make quite a good kung fu menage a trois.
So yeah, Pete's back, so the Moist Chat Drifting podcast has now come to an end.
What a shame. R.I.P.
No.
No worry, I'm sure I'll fuck off again.
True. I still haven't released the video of us talking about Ghost in the Shell and stuff, though.
Oh, that sounds good.
Have you seen it yet, Pete?
No, I haven't actually. I've been so busy, I've barely had a chance to eat. Hence the fact I've been eating nothing but pancakes for the whole day. Catching up on lost pancakes.
Can you guys hear the owl outside?
No.
Is that what that is?
No. There was like a hooing or something.
Yeah, no, I can definitely hear a hooting.
I can hear one now.
Yeah, that was it.
Cool. Well, that's something to look out for.
Yeah. Ollie, just do the intro.
The intro?
I forgot to put out the light. She prefers it when it's dark.
But I want to have a close look at her. If you put out the light, then I won't be able to see her.
Look, mister, you don't understand. My mistress is afraid of the light.
Afraid? But why should she be? Suppose I don't put out the light. What do you think could happen?
Oh, that would be bad. If you had a son, he'd have no asshole.
He'd have no asshole?
Oh.
So it is you. I thought for a moment you were a ghost. How can a ghost appear in the day?
Right, so we just got finished watching...
We haven't introduced ourselves yet, Lawrence.
Okay, why don't you fucking introduce yourself then?
Well, I'm Peter, and I like kung fu movies, and that's why I like this podcast. And we just watched Drunken Master Slipery Snake, yeah?
Yeah. So I actually think we should at one point do an intro like, what was that? Like I think 50s or 60s or maybe even 70s TV show. I don't know, it's really vague. Where it's kind of like a musical. They all say their name.
That sounds pretty good.
Oliver.
I think we should do like The Prisoner, though.
Oh yeah, we need to do one like that.
Where it's like, I'm number 3. I'm not number 3, I'm a free man.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
As Pete said, I'm Loza, that's Ollie.
And I'm
we
number
just got
3.
finished watching Old KungFu Master.
Yeah.
Or
Drunken Master Slipery Snake.
Or Mad Mad Kung Fu.
Drunken Master Slipery Snake. That sounds like my last night out.
Oh, yeah.
Old Dirty Kung Fu.
That sounds like my last night out. Anyway.
There's no puns that describe my last night out. Yeah, so this is a film with many names and many languages.
Yes, but many languages. All in all, I thought it was pretty good.
It was, yeah, passable, not the worst, not the best.
No, it was perfectly acceptable.
It was quite reminiscent of Crazy Tiger, Dirty Frog. Or maybe I've switched up those names, so I don't know.
Oh, I love that one.
It was a surprisingly competent comedy film.
Yeah.
I would say it started off quite weak.
Yeah, no, I agree, actually.
Like, the actor who plays the Drunken Master, who I think may have been the same one from, what was the film called?
He wasn't in Horse Boxing Killer, was he? Yeah, no, he was, because Horse Boxing Killer was the guy trying to find a good master. And he went to the bar and found Drunken Master. He was in a very short scene, and then it cut away from him. Yeah.
But yeah, it was his fighting in this film was just a bit meh.
Basically, what I think it is the Drunken Master is kind of like the Iron Man of the Kung Fu movies. In that he sort of turns up in other Kung Fu movies as like cameo roles to sort of pull them all together.
So we're dealing in a multiverse here.
Yeah, he is the linchpin that holds together the Kung Fu multiverse.
Now, considering the same actors and the same voice actors seem to appear in these movies, the multiverse theory seems to hold some ground.
Exactly.
So who is the equivalent of Toa then? Or Toat?
Equivalent of who?
Toat, the one above all. Basically, the god of gods in the Marvelverse.
Well, that's an easy answer. It's definitely Horse Boxing Killer's mustache. It couldn't be anything else, surely.
But yeah, so the plot of this film's a bit weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it basically revolves around a revenge plot or a revenge. But basically, the film opens with Drunken Master
stopping a guy from trying to kill himself.
Yeah.
By hanging himself without a noose.
Yeah. And this basically leads to Drunken Master. I mean, I don't really want to gloss over that opening because it was weird and kind of we should probably discuss it. So I guess we could just go talk about it.
Yeah. So
the man who is trying to off his head. His daughter is supposed to marry someone and he doesn't quite agree with it, so he doesn't want to live with the shame or something to that effect.
Yeah.
So, Drunken Master hatches up quite a bizarre plan.
Yeah, which involves him dressing up as the bride for some odd reason, and he just puts some wedding clothes over his...
He doesn't change. He's still wearing his filthy rags.
With his shoes with a hole in.
Yeah. And it leads to an exceptionally long, weird sex scene. Or like a...
First off, it's like the mother is like, oh no, she doesn't want to have sex in the light.
Yes.
Otherwise, the child will be born without an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of the aspects of this whole situation that is incredible.
Yeah. But they're constantly trying to delay the sex.
They're trying to delay the sex because the longer... They can't get away from the fact that it's not the daughter and it's actually an old homeless bloke.
With a moustache and smelly feet.
We're being completely serious about the asshole thing. That is a direct quote from the film. I kid you not.
He beats up the guy.
But the thing is, it takes a long time to get to that point. There's an exceptional amount of foreplay to this situation that goes on for way too long. It's a very weird opening.
It's about 12 minutes until they've had their asses handed to them.
Yeah, and you know it's going to happen. It just takes a long time to happen.
Yeah.
And this whole situation is kind of the linchpin behind the whole movie, because the Drunken Master kills this the lead bandit who was meant to be marrying the daughter, and this leads another Kung Fu master that's his son,
father, and his only son,
and he just killed his only son, so he sort of has a vendetta against Drunken Master.
Now, again, this is a thing I'm not 100% sure on, but So the guy's called Mr. Long. We don't know if he maybe played the same guy who played Old Brown Monk.
Yeah.
What was the one?
I mean, they were both bald and had mustaches, so...
A Hero's Tear, was it? Or did it have a Crazy Frog?
Was he also...
Crazy Frog, it would be.
Yeah, it was Crazy Frog.
Was he also the guy from Born Invincible?
So, but I haven't seen that in ages, so... Couldn't possibly say.
But the weird thing about this plot is that the whole plot revolves around this opening situation. But for some weird reason, Drunken Master completely disappears after this scene until almost the end of the movie.
Yeah, so, the last three scenes, basically.
So everything after this is kind of, it's all connected to this weird moment at the start that kind of gets forgotten. It's very...
So basically, the evil guys make a scheme to ambush Bamboo's disciple, to sort of hold him to ransom to get Bamboo to appear. So when they do ambush him, he escapes basically, and he was transporting this treasures for the Chinese government.
Yeah.
Which was this jade ring. So basically, they steal the ring, and this gets him a wanted poster.
Yeah. Because the government holds him responsible for losing the item.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fair enough, really.
Yeah, but I mean, not for $500.
Yeah, true.
But that should just be a disciplinary action, not...
Yeah.
But, so he disguises himself as a beggar and just starts wandering around the country.
Yeah.
And he passes through this military checkpoint, which is this when we get sort of a time period for the setting of the film.
Which is very odd.
Yeah, so there's one person with a pistol.
Yeah, it's like a German Luger, which is...
Yeah, but I think it's way before that.
Yeah. It was very odd. It audibly made us all very confused when we saw it.
Yeah.
Because I've always been under the impression these things happen in a feudalistic society with just swords and spears and kung fu. But I guess not.
I suppose if we were Chinese or he had a better grasp of Chinese history, we'd be able to more quickly identify which time period it's in. But until we see guns, we sort of assume that it is, as Pete said, a feudal sort of society.
And if we're really going in for this whole multiverse thing, this throws everything out into question, really.
Yeah, because
Horse
the Drunken Master was in...
what
was it? What was that other... Horsebox. And that was clearly set a bit before, wasn't it? I don't remember any guns in that. Or was there? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I think it raises some questions.
Yeah.
We should ask the director.
God, the Drunken Master is a time traveller.
So basically then, after they pass the checkpoint, this guy steals some money from this random person who we don't see later.
Yeah.
And then blames it on the disciple. And then for some reason he's like, I'm not going to fight this off. So then this other guy steps in and fights for him.
He's a very good fighter.
He's competent, but he seems he definitely is between the two, he's weaker.
I don't know, actually. I think I've always thought Disciple was the weak one. Because he never really fought.
No, I always just assumed he was never really, trying.
Yeah. And then the other guy I just called Tooth Fairy. Because in his opening fight, he just beats the shit out of a guy and knocks his teeth out. But...
He even says beforehand, I'll knock his teeth out.
The moment that happened, I was like, Tooth Fairy. Because God knows you're not going to tell me your real name. And he didn't.
Until much, much later.
And by then, I didn't care enough. By then, he had already got a name.
So yeah, they then go off and they arrive at this, the group of beggars go off.
Yeah.
And then they arrive at this, I don't know where it is.
It looks like some sort of watermill or something.
Yeah. And then these guys try to rob a woman who's in their company.
And they basically take them on. It's another fight sequence.
Yeah.
And at this point, you're sort of treated to the fact that Tooth Fairy is actually quite competent with the bamboo stick, which is what the Drunken Master's also very competent with. They could sort of have similar skills, so they start going off and saying that he is the bamboo master, he is the Drunken Master.
And they try to get free food with it.
Yeah.
But that fails, so the disciple dresses up as a character I nicknamed El Bandito. Because he had a very much a mustache and
a poncho
and sort of a sombrero.
I was getting some serious poncho envy.
A parody.
You know how much I love a poncho.
There was sort of a parody of the Sergio Leone's music. In that scene as he walked in. Sort of a parody of I should say Ennio Morricone sort of music.
No, that's a nice touch.
Yeah. Again, we don't know if it's the dubbing team, the original.
Yeah.
It's Chinese side or what.
I don't know, because the man with no name had a poncho on, so I figured it would be like a direct reference. So I imagine the score was intact. What were you going to say, Pete? Before I
I can't remember.
Butted in abruptly there.
Your point was far more interesting. So don't worry about it.
So then basically, he refuses to pay for his food.
Yeah.
Oh, he says, "Oh God, this food's all bad," and sort of makes a scene.
Yeah.
And then basically, the disciple fights him.
Oh, Tooth Fairy fights him.
Yeah. I referred to him as the disciple, but...
Oh shit, this is going to get confusing, isn't it?
Yeah. But anyway, so basically he then beats him, and he runs off, and then returns later as his original disguise.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, he has a fake beard on for most of the film.
Yeah.
Because when he dresses up as a bandito, he doesn't have the beard, so...
Yeah.
Just the moustache. But anyway, yeah. So then basically he's as a method just to worm their way out of paying the bill.
Mm.
So then they continue walking and they come to this dojo.
And they are challenged.
By these Japanese men.
Who I called Clogman.
Even though they weren't wearing clogs.
They weren't wearing clogs, but I called them Clogman.
Yeah.
Because it's more interesting than Sandalman.
True.
But honestly, this fight isn't the most interesting part of the fight because there is a separate fight going on at the same time.
Yes.
A fight of strip kung poker.
Yeah. So this Japanese man, the master of the dojo, challenges the guy to a fight for some odd reason, just because he heard, oh, this guy's bamboo, so he must be really good, so if I beat him, my reputation will increase.
Yeah.
And he basically says, if I win, you have to walk out here with your tail between your legs. If you win, you get the dojo.
Yeah.
And
then these two old blokes who are also there are like, oh man, I'm sure Clogman will win. And the other guy's like, nah mate, it'll be Bamboo. Bamboo will win. So they have their own little bet going where the one who loses has to give the other person all of their clothes. Yeah.
So
it's not like they do it at the end.
During the fight.
They do it as they go.
Yeah. Like round for round or something.
Yeah, like a weird game of Kung Strip Poker.
Good old Kung Strip Poker.
Oh man, remember those days at uni?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so after Bamboo wins with the help of the disciple,
yeah,
they take over the academy and start their own.
They get onto the property ladder.
Yeah.
Which, if only it was so easy for us in our generation.
But 19th century Chinese.
Ugh.
Yeah, they had it better.
I mean, it's to be
those
fair,
guys.
most of the people in the movies we watch just get killed or like murdered or just harassed by general bandits. So I suppose it's a good trade-off not having to deal with that in exchange for having a bit more trouble getting on the property ladder. But anyway,
They then give the demonstration to the new students,
yeah.
which was just a bit like I don't know, just a fight.
Yeah, it didn't really register for me. I didn't even write it in my notes, especially considering what happens next.
Yeah. So he then goes off to get tea after this fight, and the film suddenly switches to Chinese.
Yeah. No warning, no nothing. It's just suddenly Chinese.
Yeah. So we have no idea what's going on, really.
Yeah.
But
the pistol guys came out again and
first of all he
started
people
threatening
sort of
them.
ambush him for some odd reason.
Yeah.
We don't know why. And he fights them off, and then he runs away.
Always in all of these movies, you always get ambushed in the woods. That's the one thing that I've noticed between these movies. You never go in the woods because somebody or some team or force or allegiance, they're just going to ambush you. They're just going to come out the trees with swords or guns or whatever, and
in the
they're going to
forest's
demand something
defense,
from
you
you.
can't exactly
It always
ambush
happens.
somebody in the desert. You've got kind of a long view,
Yeah, that's true.
or on the plains,
I
or
don't know. You could
a mountain's pretty dangerous.
You could cover yourself in
I
sand.
mean, and to be fair, the woods are everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't really get away from the woods when you live in sort of feudalistic China.
Well, this wasn't futuristic China.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah, they had guns, Pete. Anyway, so he runs away, and then some other people start chasing him. And then something happens with the military men, realising that
The
disciple
disciple is actually the man who lost the jade ring.
Because the first time they saw him, they didn't realise.
Yeah. But the language is suddenly not dubbed.
Yeah.
Back to English, sorry.
Yeah.
I just assumed maybe in the original movie they spoke English for a few minutes.
This is just a very, very accurate translation of what actually happened.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
But yeah. So then they eat some chicken.
Yeah. And Disciple's true identity is the criminal is revealed.
Yes. So in order to get the jade ring back, the Tooth Fairy dresses up as a woman and breaks into Mr. Long's house.
I mean, it sort of works.
Well, the guard gets fooled by it.
Well, the weird thing is, Mr. Long seems to acknowledge that there is somebody dressing up as a woman infiltrating his
He just
thing.
sort of
He
lets
does
him
nothing
in.
about it. He literally says to his attendant, "Yeah, there's this guy outside dressed as a woman.
No,
and he wants to infiltrate
His
me
assistant
and
says
steal
that to
my
him.
thing." And then he just let. Oh right, and then and he just
Can you
does nothing
imagine how
about it.
fucking brilliant it would be if this was still all in Chinese? Can you imagine how confused we'd be? Just see this guy pretending to be asleep, while the guy wanders around in drag trying to steal a jade ring.
I think we would have figured it out, though.
We'd think the guy
Why?
in
What's
drag
wrong with
would
someone
be
being
the
in
villain.
drag?
And no, because he's kind of antagonising the guy by slamming his head
Yeah,
against the
that's
table.
true.
Oh yeah, he drugs him and knocks,
whatnot.
and well, he tries to drug him. But
I mean, he
Mr.
does
Long's
sound
too
like a
clever.
villain when you describe it like that.
Yeah. But Mr. Long did steal the jade ring.
That is true. But you don't just go into someone's home and just like try and pull their mustache out and steal their jade ring, even if they've killed people. You've got to have respect.
This would make a really good absurdist comedy. Just somebody in England, just a normal bloke in England sitting in his house. Someone in drag comes in. They give him poison alcohol.
The guy knows, but he just sort of lets it happen, but not really.
But secretly, the piano has no strings in it or keys.
He opens it up and it's empty.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So they fake out and so basically, they sort of do this scene before the whole driving bit goes on, where him and his attendant are like, "Oh yes, look at the jade ring in this box," which has nothing in it, of course.
Yeah.
To trick the drag queen.
Look at the strings in this piano. They're fine. They're fine strings.
And just listen to it play.
The guy's listening at the door and dragging. He's like, "Damn, that's a beautiful sounding piano."
The whole thing though is he could have checked the box before he left.
He literally could have, and it would have taken very little effort.
Or he could have stabbed up Mr. Long.
He could have literally shanked him in the back.
Or cut his tendons or something.
That's a bit fucked up, but sure.
Well, he wouldn't have killed him, but he wouldn't be able to give chase to, you know?
I mean, he could sort of shuffle, I guess.
Well, not if you cut the tendons in his legs.
Well, yeah.
He could crawl.
I feel like we'd have lost a lot of identification and plot with Tooth Fairy if he just went around slashing tendons. Anyway, so Tooth Fairy escapes with an empty box, which he believes to contain a jade ring. And he returns to Disciple and opens the box to reveal that he has been duped.
But they got a nice box out of it.
But they did get a nice box out of it. They could probably sell that for at least £100.
Nah, only $5, Pete.
Oh, that's true. This is post-feudalistic China.
Who uses whatever currency they use.
Dollars or talons. Yeah.
Or eagles.
Yeah.
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 Or rice.
But Mr. Long ended up following them.
He did.
And they had a pretty standard fight. It was, you sort of start to see how Mr. Long fights.
He uses his head a lot, which is quite cool.
He has the iron brain.
Yeah. And it's actually pretty well choreographed.
Yeah. I think the weakest fighter in this film was the Drunken Master.
Absolutely.
It's really surprising because he doesn't really do a lot of the stuff he does in the other movies. I mean, I think it's intentional because he only uses like one arm and he has one stick held in that arm. I think it's meant to give the impression that he's really talented and skillful. That he only has to use one arm all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the main thing.
I agree.
I think it's very slow and tepid and dun, dun, dun.
Sorry, I had to add in the sound effects.
Okay, so the Disciple guys, not Tooth Fairy. Bamboo's Disciple basically sacrifices himself so that Tooth Fairy can get away.
I mean, you say that he sacrificed himself, but I felt like he sacrificed a watermelon.
True.
So what happens is when the killing blow is achieved, which is when Master Long headbutts the shit out of Disciple, it cuts away from him being headbutted to a watermelon being smashed against a rock.
He was a noble man.
He was. God bless that watermelon.
Yeah.
Let's hope his pension gets back to his watermelon children.
Nah, they're a bit of an asshole like that.
Yeah, not under this government. Anyway, so
the Tooth Fairy then starts practicing the Iron Head.
swearing revenge.
Yeah, and then the actual Bamboo shows up, being like, "What are you doing that for?" Like, "Oh well, your disciple." Then like, "What? No!" And then runs off to go fight Mr. Long.
Yeah, I kind of had a point asking him what he was doing though, because that was a very silly and expensive training method.
Yeah, I don't know how expensive pots were back then, but
Well, I mean, I was just on a 12th century period drama, and everything of that time period was really expensive and silly. So,
well, I suppose to get the clay itself,
yeah, and you got to get an artisan to make everything. So,
probably not an artisan, just like a shitty potter.
yeah.
Potter.
So, excuse me, I'm not an artisan. I'm a shitty potter. I will be addressed such.
Potter.
So, so Bamboo and Mr. Long fight, and Mr. Long kicks his ass, basically.
Absolutely.
And then Tooth Fairy arrives and watches the fight for a bit, and then helps Bamboo escape. But he does get injured in it. So back at their house, they drink some medicine, and Bamboo's like, "The Iron Head's not going to work. He's going to crush you like a brick."
Yeah.
Yeah, they've taken enough of Mr. Long.
Yeah.
He showed them
His strong
stuff.
shell.
So strong.
And anyway, so
instead of learning Iron Head, Tooth Fairy uses the opportunity to make some noodles.
Yeah.
And stack some chairs up and jump around them.
Yeah.
That's genuinely it. That's the montage.
I do feel like we learned how to make noodles, though. So
We really did. It was really cool to watch.
well, I say make noodles to like roll them out and
It was awesome.
knead them. Yeah.
That's what I remember most, aside from the watermelon death.
But yeah. So
It's a very foodie
They
film.
all the
this.
chicken as well, don't they?
Lots of dough and chicken dough and melon.
And some
I'm making fried chicken tomorrow. Actually, I'm using cornflakes in the batter to make it extra crispy. Throw some paprika, some garlic powder in there as well. Oh. I might even pound the chicken before I coat it so it's extra thin.
What does pounding
Just,
mean?
pounding it
Pete's jerking it.
completely.
It's a proper jerk chicken.
Wait. That's the thing they do.
Yeah,
in
you get
cooking.
like a
Cooking, they just
masher and you
beat a
just hit it
chicken.
with a hammer. No,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
serious.
like
It's
got a
a
meat
thing
tender.
like
It's
that.
just a spiky hammer, basically.
It just tenderizes it, makes it super soft.
Or you can just put it in a plastic bag and beat it with a rolling pin.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah, no,
probably
it's,
done
Do
it's
people
a,
get
it's a
employed to
thing.
do this?
I mean, how you
See.
probably
Wow.
have those old-fashioned clothes dryers.
Oh, like a mangle.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
You pass it to one of those.
Oh man, that sounds way more efficient than any other method.
Well, you probably need multiple to get it down to the right thickness.
That's true. You need to adjust the mangle between squashages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's
we're
what
getting
they're
ahead
called.
of ourselves. I've not even made
Yeah.
the chicken yet.
So Mr. Long has a man.
You can't
that's very
make
true.
chicken. You'd have to be.
Well, which
God
would I
to
make first, the
chicken.
chicken or the egg?
Probably the egg first.
Yeah, probably. That makes more sense because,
You can use eggs for lots of things.
you do. I made pancakes today, actually, with eggs.
Or ducks. Or dinosaurs.
Oh, man. I love dinosaurs. You can make platypuses as well. They're also sick.
Yeah, I don't know about their meat, though.
Never eaten a platypus before. I'm imagining it's quite gamey.
You never know.
It's true.
Maybe a bit more, because they're like an aquatic thing.
Yeah.
So maybe
I've eaten frogs before,
penguin
so
or something.
yeah.
Anyway, back to the plot.
It's a nice little side tangent there.
Yeah, we almost went on a full drifting.
Yeah. Cooking with Peter, Lawrence, and Ollie.
Yeah.
How do you pound your chicken?
With my hand.
I'll pound it with me
I'll
dad's
use a piece of bamboo.
broomstick.
Speaking of
I use my hand
bamboo,
like a normal person.
Yeah, Lawrence has got
Yeah.
real thick skin on his hands. He's like a leather man.
anyway, so
So,
Master
still has a
Long
man.
arrives again.
Yeah.
And challenges them.
He beats up Bamboo because he's not fully healed.
Yeah.
Because, medicine can't really help heal broken ribs.
No. And to be honest with you, even if he had been fully healed, I think Master Long would still have killed him.
Yeah. So then the Tooth Fairy fights him using his new noodly techniques,
Yep.
including throwing noodle batter on his face.
Waste of good noodle batter.
True. And then just kicks the shit out of him, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's nothing about beating up a blind man,
Yeah, no, it's not right.
But yeah. Then the fight climaxes with him crushing his head between some bamboo.
Yeah. Well, he rips a piece of bamboo in half and then jams his neck in the middle of it.
Yeah, like he splits. It's like a ground bamboo. Splits it in half while it's still in the ground, and then catches his head and just pulls it tight and twists it a bit
Yeah.
until he bleeds out his nose.
Yeah, I don't really know how he dies. Does he die because of asphyxiation, or does he die because his arteries are fucked because they're being cut by the bamboo, or
I don't know. I don't
Does he
think
break
that's
his
still
neck?
knows.
But
Maybe you just die if you go between two bits.
we
of
don't.
bamboo.
I've never
Maybe that's
been
just how
between
it
two
is.
bits of bamboo before, so I've no idea knowing that's right or not.
Well, he's still alive, so
Well, that's true. So so it must be true.
yeah. In between them, and you're not dead.
Exactly.
Simple
But
logic.
people do die for other reasons, so maybe that kind of throws it into question.
Maybe this guy's had a lot of maybe he just had an aneurysm.
Yeah, well, possibly.
And the stress of the fight induced it.
Yeah.
Equally
Maybe he's
possible.
allergic to bamboo.
It could be like that thing. It could be like that thing where herons eat tiny,
Maybe that's
tiny
why-
bits of pesticides with every rat they eat, and eventually it builds up and builds up until they die. And throughout the whole movie, he's been fighting people with bamboo, and it's been building and building inside him. This is the final moment when he has so much bamboo in him that he dies.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of the movie.
Yeah.
It pretty much ends
That's
after
it.
that with a high five kind of situation between him and Drunken Master.
Yeah. It was, it was a good film.
Yeah, no, I had fun.
I told Ollie this, but I have a new rating system that I use for films.
Yeah.
So basically, I can also give a negative rating,
Oh.
which basically means the lower in the negative, the sort of better it is in the good bad way.
I see.
So The Room is a negative 10,
Right. Yes. I see.
whereas just a really bad film that is just not redeeming it anyway is a 0.
Yeah, because it doesn't have any. Yeah. Okay, I get you.
And then obviously a positive 10 is objectively good
Yeah.
and extremely enjoyable.
See, I was thinking
Yeah.
about of making my own rating system based around how good the combat is as being a separate rating from the actual story,
Oh yeah,
because I think that could be quite
that's important
important.
with these films.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we were to say the combat, for the most part, it was fine. It was just the Drunken Master's 2-3 early fights.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it was a solid 7. Because even if those fights hadn't been taken into consideration, I think they were still generally a bit naff.
Mm.
But there was enough really good moments, like when Disciple and Tooth Fairy teamed up, that I think it was worthwhile.
Definitely. But yeah, overall, I think I agree with the IMDb rating of about 6.
Yeah, no, I'd say that's about right. The story was about a 6.
I'd give this a ghost
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
no,
daytime
that-
out
oh,
of
right.
Ghosts don't exist, Ollie. Everyone knows ghosts come out at night.
Alright, I'll give it a
Okay.
baby without an arsehole out of 10.
I think our rating systems suck compared with Ollie's on it, if I'm being completely honest. Lawrence.
That was Lawrence's in the first place. Giving
No, but you've made it
giving
your
it
own, mate.
whatever out
No.
of 10.
My giving it a whatever out of 10 was just a reference at one point. Yeah, saying it was a Breath of the Wild out of 10
Really?
was a reference to Jim Sterling
Because
giving Breath of the Wild a 7 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole controversy that came from that.
oh right.
But yeah.
I say controversy. Anyway. You know, it was a solid noodle making montage out of 10.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. It was a good use of my time.
Yeah.
Um,
And it only took us 42 minutes to discuss that.
I mean, to be fair, 10 minutes of that was a massive thing about cooking.
Yeah.
Oh, how I want
But in
some
terms of
chicken.
what we should watch next week,
Well, at one point you said we were going to watch, what was that Yakuza one?
oh yeah, Ultimate Versus.
Yeah.
I kind of
Ultimate
feel like we
Versus.
should leave that for a little bit.
Okay.
And if you go on to Drunken Master Slipery Snake again and look in the up next in the sort of related videos, I think Mystery of Chess Boxing is probably our best bet.
True. Oh, they've got 8 strikes of the
Chess
Wildcat
boxing.
here.
Are they? What, the actual 8 Strikes of the Wildcat?
Oh, nice.
Yes. Do you think of it
With
if I'm
Jackie
going
Chan.
Yeah, that one wasn't even a kung fu film. That was just a
Oh,
historical
what's-
drama about how much the Japanese were awful to the Chinese during the war.
I think I'm thinking of that that clip on YouTube where Jackie Chan hits the guy in the balls and he goes ah, and then the dramatic music plays as it zooms in on his face. I don't. No, that's not 8 Strikes of the
We've also
Wildcat.
got
as
Shaolin
I've been
Blood
corrected.
Mission, which I think is what I've got on DVD. So
Dead End of Besiegers. That sounds kind of interesting.
yeah,
Well, Deadly China Dolls 2.
I feel like we've been missing a lot if we don't watch Deadly China Dolls 1.
I mean, it doesn't really look like a kung fu movie. It looks more like a weird thing with lots of women wearing bikinis.
I'll have to do research into this.
Ooh. What if it is kung
So
fu,
it's
but
like,
they're just in
Dead or
bikinis,
Alive, Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Yeah.
dead or alive. But they don't do any fighting in that. Actually, I
one
never
knows
played it,
that,
so I
you know,
can't tell.
Sports fight. A sports game is just another means of fighting.
I suppose fighting with
Actually, there's
beach
this,
balls and
I watched this video
Honour
talking about like
and
fights in films and anime and stuff, and the guy basically explained a really good thing to explain fights. They're basically debates where you put forward a point, which is your fighting style,
Yeah.
and then if the other person can counter it and go back, then that's their counter argument.
Yeah, that's not
It's
a
that-
bad way of looking at it.
Yeah. And the example he used was Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee at the end of not Enter the Dragon. What's the one after that?
Yeah. But we'll have a look through all of the things, or I'll try and find something with an interesting sounding name.
Awesome.
Um,
Right then. Where can everyone find you, Pete?
People, well, right now I'm laying low because it was a very tough 2 week shoot. So I'm sleeping and eating pizza. But I'm on social media under the Time Starfish, which is my Twitter. You can hear me shit post about everything on there. I am in the process of getting my website finished and all of that jazz. But my Instagram, if you want to watch me post pictures of all the food I'm going to be baking over the next few days, is at the Time Starfish. No, wait, that's my Twitter. It's the most mysterious Battenberg, with an underscore under each letter. So, yeah.
Ollie, where can they find your shits?
I'm Oliver Ryan. Oh no,
Shit,
that's
now
my
the
name.
internet knows.
No, keep it in. You can find me on oliverryan.co.uk. I take photos, I make videos, I eat things on YouTube under Ollie Eats Food, and make music under the moniker Ollie from Solly on SoundCloud. I'll probably put a comment here saying that's me on the SoundCloud release of this fabulous podcast. And that's
what about you, Lawrence? Where can people find your beautiful face, and what do you do?
You can't find my beautiful face on the internet.
Don't say that. You're a charming bastard.
Yes, you can.
Have some confidence.
I don't think there is a link of my picture.
Well,
I mean,
then the
if you
internet will just have to take our word for it.
I mean, you can see my hand in one of the pictures for a YouTube thumbnail.
Yeah?
Yeah. And some glasses. A lot of glasses.
Oh. But anyway, where can people find you, you handsome bastard?
I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch under the name Loza Kane. I'm on what's that website called? Tumblr. That's the one. That's my.
I thought you were talking about MySpace.
No, nobody uses MySpace anymore. Yeah, everyone's switched to Bebo.
What about on Bebo?
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find me on Tumblr at Loza Art. I mostly do drawing and stuff. That's about.
Did anyone have a Bebo profile?
No, I didn't even have a Bebo profile for me.
Maybe that was just an Isle of Wight thing. People just made Bebo profiles for their dogs and cats. Yeah.
I really need to visit the Isle of Wight. It sounds really cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It is a pretty wacky place. Yeah, it's a. If you like hovercrafts, and you like rolling countryside, and you like being invaded by mods every once in a while. And they're
you've got that really cool guy
mods,
who lives on the island who believes in lizard people as well.
Scooters.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I would actually really love to meet him.
Our resident conspiracy theorist.
Getting more and more into weird conspiracies, not actually to believe in them, just being fascinated by them.
About a few months ago, I was in a supermarket and I was taking the escalator down, and I sort of stumbled as I walked onto it, and I could see him giving me just a weird
you were a
look
lizard
because
person. That's not how human legs work, lizard man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yes. So if you like conspiracy theories, Satanism, really annoying Jehovah Witnesses, rolling countryside, hovercrafts, yachts, and beaches come to the Isle of Wight.
It's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
In fact, any of those things isolated would make me want to go there. Altogether, it's amazing.
Also,
dude, I love ghosts.
Ghosts, apparently.
I love a good spook.
A lot of ghosts. and a lot of ghosts, a lot of pagans, a lot of people who think they can do exorcisms and well, not exorcisms. They think they can drive ghosts out and whatnot, all that jazz. Yeah, the Isle of Wight, Vectis, the diamond at the bottom of the England. Please come and enjoy yourself and have some rock, the candy rock, and some coloured sand.
Do a blood ritual to the glorious
from the
Lord
needles.
below.
Lord Blow or Lord Below?
Lord below.
Hey, I just...
Let the fire in his eyes never go out.
Have we
ended the
pod?
Beautiful pain that it brings us every day of our life.
No, we haven't ended yet.
Oh, I'm so tired.
Right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you whenever next week.
Have a lovely evening or morning whenever you're listening to this.
I usually post it at 7
Oh,
on a Monday.
Oh, well, evening then.
Have a lovely Monday dinner.
Yeah, we hope.
Yeah,
we hope we've.
And if you do listen to
Monday.
it in the morning and not the evening, I don't wish you a good morning. You should have listened to this in the evening when it came out.
Exactly.
Right, good.
Bye.
Bye.
Salutations.